सहना ववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Let us chant from verse number 8. आयुस्सत्त्वबलारोग्य सुखप्रीतिविवर्धनाः रस्या स्निग्धा स्थिरा हृद्याः आहाराः सात्विकप्रियाः कट्वं ललवणात्युष्ण आहारा राजसस्येष्टाः दुःखशोकामयप्रदाः यातयामं गतरसं पूते पर्युषितं च यत् उच्छिष्टमपि चामेध्यं भोजनं तामसप्रियम् अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्यज्ञः विधिदृष्टो य युज्यते यष्टव्यमेवेति मनः समाधाय स सात्विकः अभिसन्धाय तु फलम् युज्यते भरतश्रेष्ठ तं यज्ञं विद्धि राजसं विधिहीनमसृष्टान्नं मन्त्रहीनमदक्षिणं श्रद्धाविरहितं यज्ञं तामसं परिचक्षते देवद्विजगुरुप्राज्ञ पूजनं शौचमार्जवं ब्रह्मचर्यमहिंसा च शारीरं तप उच्यते अनुद्वेगकरं वाक्यं सत्यं प्रियहितं च यत् स्वाध्यायाभ्यसनं चैव वाङ्मयं तप उच्यते मनः प्रसादः सौम्यत्वम् भावसंशुद्धिरित्येतत् तपोमानसमुच्यते श्रद्धया परया तप्तं तपस्तत्त्रिविधं नरैः अफलाकाङ्क्षिभिर्युक्तैः सात्विकं परिचक्षते सत्कारमानपूजार्थं तपोदम्भेन चैव यत् क्रियते तदिह प्रोक्तं राजसं चलमध्रुवं मूढग्राहेणात्मनो यत् पीडया क्रियते तपः परस्योत्सादनार्थं वा तत्तामसमुदाहृतम्।
「 「
So we were discussing different kinds of tapas. Tapas is the topic which Bhagavan deals the most in this chapter. Tapas at the body level, tapas at the speech level, tapas at the mind level. And after that, Bhagavan then goes on to describe sāttvic, rajasic and tamasic tapas. So what is the sāttvic tapas? In sāttvic tapas, the sāttvic person does it with great shraddha. Whatever tapas has been mentioned, kaya, vang, mana tapas, he does it with full conviction, with total faith in it. At the same time, he doesn't expect any material benefit out of it. Name, fame, praise, he doesn't expect. Then, yuktaihi, there is a total integration in his personality when he undertakes this tapas. Integration means he loves it and he values it. What about a rajasic person? Whatever tapas he takes up, it is only for show off. Only to create a better impression in the minds of others. Because he is dull, he is gross enough not to appreciate the spiritual benefits of tapas. He can see only the external benefits. So what are the disadvantages of doing that kind of tapas? Chalam adhruvam. The result is uncertain, the result is impermanent. Then about tamasic tapas. What is tamasic tapas? In this tapas, this person has no idea about what tapas is. Mudhagrahena atmanayoto, holding on to some foolish notion. What does he do? He tortures his body. Atmano yat pidaya kriyate tapaha. According to his understanding, tapas means there should be some pain, there should be some suffering. Where there is no suffering, there cannot be tapas. Manaprasada saumyatum, etc. According to him, it cannot be tapas because there is no torture involved. So this way, holding on to some foolish notion, he does tapas. And what is the intention behind the tapas? Paratsya utsadhanartham, destroying others, making others suffer. All this mata, mantra, all those things come under this category. Right, so this topic, up to this we have seen. Now we enter into the last topic, that is dānaṁ. So ahara over, yajna over, tapas over. Next topic is dānaṁ. Dānaṁ means charity. So now Bhagavan is going to describe sāttvic charity. So what is this sāttvic charity? Let us see verse number 20. Dātavyamiti yad dānaṁ dīyate nupakārine deshe kāle ca patre ca taddānaṁ sāttvikam smritam dātavyamiti yad dānaṁ dīyate nupakārine deshe kāle ca patre ca taddānaṁ sāttvikam smritam. Yes. That charity is called sāttvic. Taddānaṁ sāttvikam smritam. Which is this sāttvic dānaṁ? Dātavyam iti. So the one who gives, he is firmly convinced that this is the one thing to be done. I must give. Dātavyam. To whom does he give? Anupakārine. He gives to a person who cannot do upakara in return. Meaning, this person gives without any expectation from the other person, without an expectation of even thank you, no gratitude expected. This has to be done, therefore I am giving, irrespective of how that person is going to respond to it. No expectation. And now what are the factors he keeps in mind? Deshe, kale, patre. At the right place he gives, at the right time he gives, to the right person he gives. When this kind of charity is given, then that charity is called sāttvic charity, sāttvic dānaṁ. So now we will spend some time here. This dānaṁ is a very important factor in spirituality. Why should we give? To answer this question, let us see what happens when a person doesn't give. Suppose a person lives a selfish life. The tendency is to live a selfish life in majority of us because, again, Shraddha comes into picture. So what is the definition of Shraddha? The experiences in life, when I analyze, I come to certain conclusions, and those set of conclusions are called Shraddha. So when you superficially analyze life, when a person superficially analyzes life, he comes to know that there are so many needs in my life. I need food, I need shelter, I need clothing, I need so many pleasures of the world. So there are so many needs in my life, and all those needs can be met with one thing. And what is that thing? Wealth, money. So therefore, in his life, wealth has got a very great importance. The highest priority a person who has analyzed life superficially, for him the highest priority is wealth alone. For majority of the people, it is true. With wealth, you can meet the needs of life. With wealth, you can become happy. You can create a conducive environment around you which can give you happiness. So therefore, he gives wealth a lot of importance. So natural tendency will be to earn lot of wealth and spend less, give less. It is a natural tendency. So what happens when he lives such a selfish life? A life where he earns wealth and spends only on himself. He doesn't know the value of giving. He knows only the value of hoarding, of earning. What happens in his life? Now what happens is, he creates a psychological wall between himself and the rest of the world, out of his own selfishness. A psychological wall is created. I versus the rest of the world. This is the end result of selfishness. In selfishness, I give maximum importance, maximum value to myself. I don't care about the world. This is the attitude of a selfish person. Now what happens? This person, in his mind, has built a wall between himself and the rest of the world. It is a psychological wall. Now what happens when you build a wall around yourself? What happens when you build a wall around yourself? That wall will be called a prison, isn't it? What is prison? Prison is, you are there and around you a wall is there. Now this selfish person has created a wall. Now what is the experience of a person who is imprisoned behind four walls? the experience of that person is suffocation. That is at the physical level, but at the psychological level, he experiences a suffocation of loneliness. I am alone. Because in life he had given only importance to himself. So now that very same wrong thought, wrong notion in his mind makes that sense of loneliness intense. Now loneliness is something which is very, very disturbing, very, very suffocating, very, very painful. You have everything with you. You have roti, kapada, makan, everything is there. But that sense of loneliness pinches you. I am all alone. There is no one in this world whom I can call mine. There is no one in this world who bothers about me, who asks about my welfare. It is a very painful situation. The sense of loneliness. And remember, this sense of loneliness is created by himself because of his own selfish attitude. Now, how does he try to escape this sense of loneliness? You must have somebody with you, isn't it? Now, in majority the cases, majority of the people try to escape this sense of loneliness through what we call as marriage. The main purpose, one of the main purposes of marriage is to escape this sense of loneliness. In majority of the cases, people marry in order to, they may not know, but the fact is they are marrying because there is a sense of hollowness in their life, an emptiness in their life. They feel this sense of loneliness. In order to get rid of this sense of loneliness, you need somebody. And when you get married, there is someone whom you can call, he or she is mine. I can share my problems to someone. There is someone who is looking after me, taking care of me. Right? This purpose is served in marriage. Now what happens after marriage? Kids are born. Now there is a family. Now this family, to a great extent, gets rid of this feeling of loneliness. There is a wife, there is husband, there are kids. To some extent you are free from this sense of loneliness. To some extent you experience a joy of expansion. You have expanded from this individual body to a family. You experience a joy. You experience a relief from loneliness. Now what is the price you have to pay for this joy of expansion? For this relief from loneliness? What is the price? The price is sacrifice, dānaṁ. What do you have to sacrifice? You have to sacrifice your time for your family. You have to sacrifice your wealth for your family. You have to sacrifice your comforts and conveniences for your family. Because only then a family can remain integrated. So what is the price you pay for this joy of expansion? For this escapism from loneliness? What is the price you pay? The price is in terms of sacrifice, dānaṁ. Remember, dānaṁ is not just wealth. Whatever you give is dānaṁ. It can be time, it can be energy, it can be talent, it can be wealth, it can be anything. You share something with others. If a family has to remain, you have to give. Otherwise, family cannot remain. The family will become disintegrated. If you have to experience the joy of expansion, you will have to give. There is no choice. There are families in which the husband is a drunkard. It doesn't work. He only drinks and spends time. The wife has to work. She has to take care of the children. In such a house, you will find the children have no value for father. The wife has no value for husband. Isn't it? So even when the family is there, that person still continues to experience loneliness, because even there, he is lonely. Nobody respects him. Nobody values him. So if a family has to remain intact, what has to be there? Sacrifice has to be there. Dānaṁ has to be there. Right. This is at the family level. Now you can keep on expanding. The thing is, greater cross-section of the society you identify with, greater will be the joy of expansion, and lesser will be the sense of loneliness you will experience. This is the law. The more you expand, the more the joy of expansion. The more you expand, the lesser the pinch of loneliness. But what is the price you have to pay for this joy of expansion? The price to be paid is you will have to give. This giving gives you joy. Suppose you identify yourself with a community, not just family, but a community, a bigger cross-section of the society. In that case, yes, you will have that identification with the bigger community. That will give you a greater joy, but then you will have to do something for the community. Again, further if you expand, if you identify with the entire nation, you consider yourself to be the citizen of this country, you will have to give. You have to pay taxes. Money has to be given. There are very many kinds of sacrifices expected from you as a citizen of nation. Only then can you experience the joy of expansion as a citizen of this nation. For example, look at the army people, the soldiers on the borders. What is the thing they have to sacrifice? They have to sacrifice their own life. But remember, there is a joy of expansion. There is a joy which they feel. I am fighting for my country. For my nation I am fighting. And this identification with a greater section of the society gives him greater joy. And lesser, to that extent, lesser will be the sense of loneliness which he will experience. So if you want to be happy, there is no choice but to give. Greater the expansion, greater the joy. Greater the identification, greater the joy. And lesser is the sense of loneliness. Now, what is the limit of expansion? How much can you expand? Up to country you can expand. Can you expand further? Yes. And this is the goal pointed out by our scriptures. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family. Don't divide yourself in terms of caste, creed, nationality, religion. No. All these divisions will only suffocate you. All these divisions will only bring a sense of loneliness. It is never going to bring you joy. So if you want to have infinite joy, to what extent should you expand? You have to expand to infinity. Expanding to infinity means considering the entire cosmos as yourself. This is the goal pointed out by the scriptures. How is it possible? As we all know, we are none other than consciousness with a perishable body. This is the right understanding about ourselves. We are consciousness. What is consciousness? It is Sat, Chit, Anand. So when I identify myself with consciousness, I am able to identify with plants. I am able to identify myself with animals because consciousness is there also. The bodies may be different, but the consciousness, the life principle is the same. So this way, when I identify with the entire cosmos, my experience is infinite expansion, my experience is infinite joy. Then what happens to this loneliness? You come to experience that you alone are. You don't experience loneliness, you experience aloneness. Aloneness means I alone am. Now what is the consequence of this experience? I alone am. The consequence is, as Upanishad says, dvayat bhayam bhavati. From the feeling of otherness, from the concept of the other comes the word fear. When do you fear? You fear when you think that there is somebody other than me, isn't it? Fear comes from this concept. When I feel that there is somebody other than me, fear comes from that person. But suppose I know that there is only me, then there is no fear. There is only joy. There is only peace. So when you expand to this infinite level, identifying yourself with the consciousness, then your experience is peace, your experience is bliss. You no more experience the sense of loneliness. But what is the price to be given? The price is charity. Seeing others as yourself, understanding others' needs as your own needs, seeing others' suffering as your own suffering. This way when you see, naturally there is a tendency to help, to give, to sacrifice. Just as in this body, whenever there is suffering, I try to relieve this suffering through various means. In the same way, when you see the suffering in others, you try your level best. According to your capacity, you try to relieve those sufferings. If you can't do anything, at least you pray for them. Isn't it? This is the thing which you give. So therefore, if you want real happiness in life, there is no choice but to give. To the extent your identification expands, to that extent you will experience joy. How much joy do you want? How much happiness do you want? Infinite. So therefore you have no choice. You have to expand infinitely. You have no choice. You will not be satisfied till you expand infinitely. You will not be satisfied. So this is the first purpose of giving charity. This is the first advantage. The advantage is there is a joy. And this joy is far, far higher than the joy of hoarding, collecting, aggrandizing. This joy is far higher. It is a subtler joy. It gives you a greater sense of fulfillment. The second great benefit of this charity is that sense of loneliness disappears. That suffocation of loneliness disappears. The third great benefit of this charity is your attachment to things and being slowly withers away. Suppose there is a sticker. You stick, remove, stick, remove, stick, remove. What happens? What happens to the sticking ability? It comes down, isn't it? In the same way, as you keep giving to the needy, you will find your attachment to all these things and being reduces. Which is a great benefit in the path of spirituality. Because at the seat of meditation, you have to withdraw the mind from the world and you have to attach it to God. There is detachment, there is attachment. Greater the detachment in you, easier you will be able to withdraw the mind from the world. Charity enables you to detach easily from the world. The next benefit of charity is, with charity, the money which you have, the wealth which you have, becomes pure. This is one of the major means of purifying your wealth. Artha Shuddhi. Whatever money you have, whatever wealth you have, the most important means of purifying the wealth is charity. What do you mean purifying the wealth? See, when a person earns wealth, there is some kind of deception in it. A person does work, it is possible that he is getting much more than what he actually deserves. Then that wealth becomes dishonest wealth. There can be conscious reasons, there can be unconscious reasons. In business, there is always some amount of cheating involved. You are not telling the truth to the customers, you are hiding something. All that leads to impure wealth. Now, charity is the means to purify that wealth. Now, why this purification is important? This purification is important because if your wealth is impure, that wealth will be of no use to you. In fact, it will destroy you. It's a fact. The wealth which is earned through illegal means, immoral means, corrupt means, the wealth which a person earns in this way, that wealth is never going to bless that person. On the contrary, that wealth is only going to destroy the person. In your own life, you can see people who have become rich through illegal means, immoral means. Just see what happens to them. Some disease will come, some cancer or something. Whatever money he has earned through the wrong means, everything will go. The disease is not able to, doctors are not able to detect the disease. They do so many kinds of tests. A lot of money is gone. If just money goes, that is okay. There is so much of tension, there is so much of worry, fear, anxiety, suffering. That wealth which is earned through illegal means will destroy that person completely. It is not only true with the individual, it is true with the family, it is true with the nation also. If a nation is earning wealth in this way, know for sure that that wealth is going to destroy that nation. The best example is World War I and World War II. People may give so many reasons for these world wars, but the spiritual people have only one thing. That nation which has looted the entire world to become rich, how can such a nation prosper with that money? They have looted from the world, therefore World War I and World War II. Why that world term? Because looting has been, that war is not limited to some area or territory. That war is world war. Because money has been looted from all places. Isn't it? Now what is the end result of that wealth? Destruction, calamity. It's a fact. So a person who knows this truth, so what should that person do? That person should make that wealth pure. And what is the means of purifying the wealth? The efficient means of purifying the wealth is charity. A part or a percentage of whatever you earn, give it back to the society. Give it back to the needy in the right place. Then the money which you earn becomes pure. Then that wealth which you have will bless you. This is another important reason why we must be charitable. Normally we say Lakshmi is chanchala, fickle. Lakshmi is not actually fickle. The person's mind is fickle. Puja Gurudev used to say, if you want Lakshmi, don't run behind Lakshmi, run after Narayana. Hold on to Narayana. Lakshmi will always be there with Narayana. But suppose you run after Lakshmi, then you had it. You hold on to Narayana. Whatever is needed, it will be there with you. Whatever is needed, it will come to you. Holding on to Narayana means what? Holding on to the righteous path, dharmic path. Then Lakshmi will never leave you. So to say that Lakshmi is chanchala is actually wrong. It is not true. Very many people, they come to us and say, Swamiji, for generations together, our family, we have been a prosperous family, a rich family. And what is the reason? The reason is a part of our income is always given to the society. This much percentage is allocated. Whatever income we have, this much percentage we keep aside. And wherever there is a need, we give. And therefore, Swamiji, even today, we have never had a situation where we have any lack of wealth. It is always there. It's a fact. People who give, wealth always comes to them. A very good example that they give is the comparison between a lake and a river. Why is water always in the river? It always gives and the fresh water always comes. What about a lake? Whatever water comes, it doesn't give. And then what happens to that water? It becomes stagnant, it becomes stinky, it becomes impure. So too with wealth also. Another major reason why we should give is because we have taken so much from the society. With an attitude of gratitude, we must give. If you just list down what all you have taken from the society, you will be stunned. The list will never be over. The dress I wear, the mic system, the electricity, the roads, the schools, the hospitals, how much I am dependent on the society, how much I take from the society. If you just make the list, it will be an infinite list. So much you have taken from the society. What is your responsibility towards the society? Your responsibility is you must also give. Here, the Pancha Mahayajnas come into picture. What is mentioned in the scriptures? We must be grateful to all these 5. So who are these 5? Brahma Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitra Yajna, Nr Yajna and Bhuta Yajna. This topic we had discussed during our 3rd chapter. Brahma Yajna means we must be grateful to the spiritual masters who have given the scriptures, the guidelines of right living. We must be grateful to them. Because of that knowledge, my life has become so blessed. With this sense of fulfillment, you must give them. Then, Deva Yajna. This Mother Nature. I am alive because of this healthy state of Mother Nature. So therefore it is my responsibility to keep this environment clean, pure. Pitra Yajna. Expression of my gratitude towards my ancestors, towards my father, mother, etc. It is because of them that I am here. Expressing our gratitude towards them. Nriyajna. Gratitude towards mankind in general. How much we have received from them. Then Bhuta Yajna. Our gratitude towards animals, birds, etc. From them also we receive. So this way, our life should be a life of gratitude, expressing gratitude. So how do you express gratitude? You express gratitude by sharing your God-given talents, abilities, wealth, etc. with others who are in need of it. This is how you express your gratitude. So in this way, charity is important. Another major reason why you should give charity is whatever you give, it gets converted into punya. The wealth gets converted into another currency called punya. Punya is also a currency. We have dollar, we have pound, we have rupees. There is one currency which majority of people don't know. And what is that currency? It's called punya, or it's called as adrishta in the scriptures. What is this punya? This punya is very much different from other currencies and far more superior. Other worldly currencies will work only here in this world, isn't it? Whereas the punya works in every world. It works after death also. It's a kind of currency which has exchange value after death also. And rebirth also, it has got its value. All the other currencies will not work. In fact, the most important things in your life are decided not by your dollar or rupee power, it is decided by your punya power. When a person is born, which family he is born, in which environment he is born, in which body he is born, whether his mind will be stable or not, whether he will have some kind of handicap or not, all these are decided by this factor called punya. With your dollar power, can you choose your body? I don't want this animal body. Give me this human body. You can't choose. You are not even asked. You may be a very rich man, but you can't choose your body. You may be a very rich man, but you can't choose even peace of mind. You can't. You may choose only material things, but what is the most important thing? You have no choice. Can you choose your father and mother? No. Can you choose your place of birth? No. Time of birth? No. Most important things, no choice is given. But actually you can choose. And what is that currency which you have to give to choose? That currency is called punya. Right? So whatever you give in this world, it goes into that account, punya account. There is a very nice story which I heard. A person was very rich and he was very miserly. He dies. So he goes to the other world. So in the other world, one angel, she says, please come, please come. And there is a small hut. So this person in the earthly plane, he was living in a posh palace, palatial building. Now here in this other world, he is shown a small hut. Poorly built hut. So he was stunned. He said, what is this? I am going to stay here. The angel said, yes sir, this is all we could build with whatever you have given from there. Whatever charity you have given, this is all we could build for you. Nice story. So this is the importance of punya. When you are charitable, this punya currency increases. So because of all these reasons, we must be charitable. Now, how does this sāttvic person do charity? That is the discussion taken up here. Verse number 20. So what is his understanding about charity? Dātavyam iti. Just as earlier it was yashtavyam eva, if you remember. In the yajna, it was said yashtavyam eva, sāttvic person's yajna. It must be done. In the same way, dātavya means it must be given. He is firmly convinced. In life, we must give. We must produce more than what we consume. We must give more than what we take. This is the Chinmaya mission pledge. He is firmly convinced. When I give, it is not only good for me, it is good for everyone. So it is something which is supremely good. That force is there in that dātavyam. It must be done. It is my responsibility. Anupakarine. It doesn't matter whether the other person is thankful to me or not. It doesn't matter. Whether the other person is grateful to me or not, it doesn't matter. Is that person in need? Then I must give if I have. This is called dātavyam. God has given me so much. He has made me a caretaker of a part of His wealth. So this wealth actually belongs to Him. It doesn't belong to me. So whoever is in need, I must give it. This is called dātavyam. This wealth belongs to God. This world is a manifestation of God. So this wealth must be used for His purpose. And wherever I find that His work is being done, wherever I find that His child is suffering, there I must give. Not as my wealth, but as His wealth. I am only a caretaker. This is his understanding. So he gives not for some kind of reward, he gives to please God. That is his goal. Ishvara prasada siddhyartham. May Bhagwan be pleased with my charity. With this attitude he gives. A great saint, Rahim, it is said that he also used to give charity. And while giving charity, he used to hold his head down. Somebody asked, why are you holding your head down? So then he said, when I give, the other person is thankful to me. Actually, he should not be thankful to me. He should be thankful to God. So out of shame that I am taking credit for which I actually don't deserve, because of the shame, I am putting my head down. Rahim, a great saint. Dātavyam, it must be given. So here, when it is said it must be given, there is a sāttvic shraddha there. This is something which is good. This is something which is absolutely good for me, for everyone. It will definitely yield result. It will only bless everyone. It is my responsibility. With this attitude he gives. Dātavyam. Diyate anupakarine. The other person may not be able to reciprocate. Doesn't matter. I must give. It is my responsibility. The receiver may not even know who is the giver. Doesn't matter. But when he gives, he uses his common sense. Deshe, kale, patre. Right place, right time, to the right person, to the needy, he gives. Nowhere in the scripture it is said you must just give. Not even bothering who is the receiver, whether he will make use of it in the proper way. No. You have all the right to inquire where this person is going to use the money. You have all the right to inquire. You have all the right to ensure that this money is going for the right use. In the name of charity, you give some money to a drunkard. What will he do? So then that is not a sāttvic charity. Patre, right person. The person who is in need of it. And even when you are giving, you are not making him feel small. Deshe kale means what? At the right place. Meaning you are giving in such a way that that person doesn't feel little. Many times that also happens. That self-respect, that dignity of the person is not belittled. This way when you give, then that giving is called sāttvic charity. And this is how we must give. In fact, Swami Vivekananda used to say, when you give, thank that person who is receiving it. Because there is a receiver, you are able to give. Right, so this is Sāttvic. Now let us say Rajasic. Verse number 21. Yattu pratyupakarartham phalamuddishya va punaha dīyate ca pariklishtam dānaṁ rājasam smritam yattu pratyupakarartham phalamuddishya va punaha dīyate ca pariklishtam dānaṁ rājasam smritam. Yes. So how does he give? A Rajasic person giving Rajasic charity. Yattu pratyupakarartham. So even when he is giving, he is calculating. If I give him, today he may not give. Doesn't matter. He is a very efficient person, a very intelligent person. Tomorrow definitely he is going to make lot of money. And whatever I have given, he will give me 10 times back. Calculation is going on. Prati upakar. Pratyupakarartham phalamuddishya. For a result he is giving. The intention is impure, in short. He is expecting something in return. He wants others to recognize him as a great, charitable person. Even when he gives, he will be looking at the camera of the newspaper. So he doesn't give unless that clicking comes. He looks at the paper. So next day in the newspaper his photo should come that he is donating things. He's a great man. People should feel. All these desires are there. Whenever he gives, he makes a good show. All the newspaper photographers, they are called. It's made a public function. Then he gives. The other person gives silently. He gives publicly. Right? To create a good image in the minds of others. This Rajasic person always the same, features you will find in everything, whether it is yajna, dāna or tapas, it is the same thing. Dambha, ahankara, darpa, phalamuddishya. So in this metropolitan cities, etc., you will find old couple. Their children are all in US, UK, etc. Now they are living alone. Who will look after them? So they will call their servant maid. She will be coming from some village far off. Every day she has to come and go. So then they will call. My dear, why don't you stay here only? Why unnecessarily travel all the way? We will make you some arrangement. Stay. So some room is given, or some garage is given, or some guest house is given. So the servant maid along with the husband and the child, they are made to stay there. But what is the purpose? The purpose is we are getting old. There is nobody to look after us. So if you are staying here, if something happens, there is somebody who will look after us. This is called pratyupakarartha. It's a business. You give, keeping an eye on what you get. Material results. Pratyupakarartha. In this world, maximum charity happens because everyone has to die someday or the other. People are charitable because life is short and uncertain. Someday I have to die. After death, what happens, I don't know. Because after death, nobody has come back and reported where we will go. What are the worlds there? Because in our scripture there are so many words. Bhuhu, Buha, Swaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam, higher words. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala, 7 words. So depending upon your punya, you will be put in one category. Higher the punya, higher the world. No punya, lower world. Lower world means more suffering. Now we don't know whether these 14 worlds actually exist or not. We are only sure about this world which is in front. But the scriptures say that there are 14 worlds. Scriptures also describe in detail about narakas, etc. So now this person is afraid. After death, suppose these worlds are present, then where will I go? So even while living itself, let me do something, because after death anyway this wealth is useless. I can't take it along with me. This property, this bank balance, I can't take it. So at least anyway, since it is going to be useless, let me at least become charitable, so that in case there is another world, that money will be credited to my account in the form of punya. With this fear, people are charitable. And what kind of charity they do? In the temples, etc., you will find tube light is there, donated by so and so. They will write with paint on the tube light. 50% of the light doesn't come only. Right? This kind of charity there. In the temple, especially in the North Indian temples, you will find every tube light, on the tube light they have written. Or they engrave their names on the stones. Tomorrow I will not be there, but my name will remain for eternity. This is called pratyupakarartham. Expecting a result. But at least they are giving. Good. That is one thing you have to appreciate. They give. In fact, they have no choice but to give. If suppose we were to live forever and ever, I am sure 90% of the charity will vanish. Because we die, and because we are not able to take it along with us, people donate. Pratyupakarartham phalam uddishya. And even when they donate, they write it in their will. After my death, so many lakhs will go to such and such institution, such and such organization, whatever. After my death. That is another thing. While living, they will not give. After death. Good. That's also good. At least they are giving. Now this is called rajasic. You have a business mind there. You are expecting something, a material benefit in return. Right. Now what is this tamasic one? One more factor. Pariklishtam. That is very important. Diyate cha pariklishtam. With great hesitation they give. These rajasic people, to get money from them is very difficult. Pariklishta means as though you have asked his life. With great hesitation. Why there is so much of hesitation? There is so much of hesitation because for a rajasic person, money is everything. That is how he has analyzed life. That is the shraddha he has on money, wealth. Why money is everything for him? In the society, a person who has got money, he can get all comforts and conveniences, number one. A rich person is considered smart, intelligent, influential, powerful. If there is one thing with which you can get everything else, at the material level, that is wealth. So now somebody is asking that wealth. How can he give so easily? That is why pariklishta, with great difficulty he gives. He gives because his close friend has asked, who is also an equally influential person. No, we cannot say no to him because relationship is important. Therefore he gives. Or he gives because of the fear of the other world. What to do? Suppose there is some other world. Suppose I am sent to Naraka. So therefore, this is called Pariklishtam. Very difficult. And these people who ask for donation, they are also very intelligent. Such miserly people, they will not directly approach. Suppose they want to get some donation. They will approach some really charitable person, get some 1 lakh or 2 lakhs or whatever. So those receipts are there. Then they go to this person. So this person sees. So he sees the other thing. What is that? The other part of the receipt, you see. That which is there in the book, he sees. How much did others give? 1 lakh. Oh my God. 2 lakh. Oh my God. Now how can I give 500 or 1000? So therefore, Pariklishtam, with great difficulty, he writes, say, 10,000 or 20,000. With great difficulty. This difficulty is there because he has no clear understanding of what is life and what all things you may get with this charity. He has no idea. For him, the money which is seen right in front, that alone is valuable. All the other laws of karma he doesn't know. So therefore, for him, this wealth is very, very precious, and therefore he is very much attached to it. Diyate cha pariklishtam. And even when he gives, he expects a thank you, he expresses gratitude. Now and then that person should say, Sir, because you have given today. He feels very nice. This is a typical Rajasic person. This is called Rajasic dānaṁ, charity. Now we will come to Tamasic. The best one. Verse number 22. Adesha kale yad dānaṁ apatrebhyascha dīyate asat-kritam-avajñātam tat-tāmasa-mudāhritam adesha-kāle yad-dānaṁ apātrebhyascha dīyate asat-kritam-avajñātam tat-tāmasa-mudāhritam. Yes. How does this tamasic person give? Adeshe akale apatrebhyascha. Wrong place, wrong time to the wrong person. And even when he gives asatkritam avajñātam, not with respect, but insulting him, cursing him, he gives. Right? Wrong place, wrong time to the wrong person. I remember a joke. So, one boy was asking the other boy, what did you give to your grandmother on her 90th birthday? So this boy said, I gave her a football. Football? Yes. Because she gave me Bhagavad Gita on my birthday. Right. Wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time. Of course, this is only a joke. So this is this tamasic person. Now, what is the nature of it? Really speaking, you have to understand the nature of the tamasic person. Then only this verse becomes clear. A tamasic person is a lazy person. He doesn't want to work. So, the question of charity itself doesn't arise. No question. Because according to him, put some money in FD and then live an idle life. That is his philosophy. So, whatever interest comes, live. Happily you live. Happily means what? Sleep as much as you want. Rest as much as you want. Don't work. Don't take any responsibility. Lie down. Idle away the time. So such a person, do you think he will do any charity? Impossible. Now this verse is, in case he does some charity, this is the way he will do. That is the meaning. The first preference is no giving at all. At least a Rajasic person gives, even though with some selfish intention, he gives. This person will never give. But that is not mentioned here. Because since we have told charity, something has to be given. So under helpless condition, he gives. And when he gives, this is the way. Wrong person to the wrong place, for the wrong cause. And remember, he does it out of delusion. Total confusion. This is exactly the opposite of Sāttvic dānaṁ, if you see. In Sāttvic dānaṁ, deshe kālecha pātrecha. Right place, right time, right person. Here, everything ulta. Very many times in society we find, so there is this person who works hard, struggles a lot in life, and then he establishes some company or whatever. His son comes. He has nothing to do. He just replaces his father on the cash counter. In the sense, he has never known that hard work. The father worked hard. The son, he just became his successor. So he doesn't know the value of hard work. But he has a lot of money. Now his son is also born. Very times we find that the third generation is always a rowdy generation, because the father has a lot of money. So naturally you tend to develop all kinds of bad habits. So somebody goes and tells, see, your son, he has got all bad habits. Please don't give money to him. He drinks, he smokes, he visits questionable places. He has a lot of affairs with so many girls. He takes drugs also. He's a spendthrift. Please, correct your son. Don't give him money, etc. You know what this father will say? If I don't give money, who will give money? He is my only son. Right? As a father, I must fulfill all his desires. That is the responsibility of a father. That's the duty of a father. All those little bad habits. And that is because of age. Over a period of time, everything will be fine. Such fathers are there. Now this giving is called tamasic giving. Total confusion. Why that confusion? Because of attachment. My son, my only son. He is the one who has to look after me when I become old. So therefore, he must be kept happy. And as a father, I must provide everything for him. All his desires must be fulfilled. Isn't it? Now this kind of giving is called tamasic giving. Adesha kale patrecha. Wrong place to the wrong person or the wrong time. He has got his own justification why he is giving. All wrong justifications. But he is thoroughly convinced. He is seeing white as black and black as white. But very clear. Right. But suppose this person has to give to some charitable organization. How will he give? Asatkritam avajñātam. He has no interest at all in giving. But there are situations where he is helpless. How does he give? Asatkritam, without giving any respect to the person who is receiving. Not only not giving respect, avajñātam, insulting the person, so that next time again he should not come. He should remember him. He should remember this throughout his life, never to come to this person. So some kind of insulting words. That person feels small. That person who is a receiver, he feels small. But out of helplessness, he is taking it. This tamasic person makes the other feel small. So when such a charity is given, then that charity is tamasic. Right. So here, this topic gets over now. So all the 4 topics are over now. Ahara, Yajna, Dana, Tapas. But still we are only in verse number 22. There are 6 more verses. In the next 6 verses, Bhagavan is glorifying Namasmarana, chanting the name of the Lord. Because very many times we do all these sadhanas, Yajna, Dana, Tapa, etc. we do, but knowingly or unknowingly we commit so many mistakes. Consciously or unconsciously. So what about sāttvic sadhana you may be doing, but there will be some kind of defects. How to overcome those defects? So Bhagavan is saying, chanting Bhagavan's name is the way in which you can overcome these defects. So the glory of chanting Bhagavan's name is going to come now. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyanto Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om.